G'day guys and welcome to the VEMA Trader Bitcoin Market Scan. My name is Rhys and in today's video I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on Bitcoin. Now you might notice things look a little bit different today than they do most weeks, and the reason for that is that I am now in sunny tropical Bali. Hopefully you guys heard that rooster crow. It just really adds to the atmosphere. So this is one of the beauties of trading, is that you can do it from anywhere in the world. So a few things first. I'm having some tech issues. So I've got a GoPro, I've got a quality microphone. Both of those have failed me today, so I'm currently on the webcam and using my headset microphone, so apologies for a bit of a drop in quality in terms of those. But hey, this is traveling, that's what we do, we improvise. So what we'll do is we'll head to VEMA Trader, we'll take a look at Bitcoin, we'll see what it's doing today, and if there's any trades that I like the look of, I will set those up.
Righto, so here we are on the weekly, and there is not a whole lot to report. Last week's candle was essentially a doji, slightly more bearish than bullish. It did close lower than what it opened, but not a whole lot of price action, and basically wicked up, wicked down, and closed quite close to where we started. So we are still holding this weekly demand level that I have there, but that's really all I'm seeing on the weekly. We're holding that level. I'm still not confident we're going to hold it long term. Not seeing anything that really makes me think that we're likely to bounce up. And if we do eat that supply, then I think it could be a swift fall to 11. So that's it for the weeklies. We'll take a look at the dailies. Righto, so down here on the dailies, we're really just consolidating in, I would even say like this zone. That's kind of the key at the moment. So to me, the key level at the moment is this 18,831 EQ, right? This blue line here, you can see it's been very well respected here. Beautiful close right on it previously. And if you go a little bit further back, it was also an EQ. It's a bit of a resistance there, a bit of support there. So to me, that is the level that is really, really crucial at the moment. We are still holding it. But again, we're sort of consolidating above it. And as you often hear me say, consolidating above support is often a bearish sign. So looking at this, I kind of think there's a good chance we are heading to about 17.3. We could have a recovery. I think when I get down to the 4 hour, we're going to see potentially some sort of descending wedge, which is typically bullish, but we'll see if we can find that on the 4 hour when we get down there. There is actually also a supply zone that has formed here now that I would consider to be reasonably strong. It may have even been there last week, now that I look at it, but yeah, it was a big rejection out of that zone, big move out of that zone. It hasn't, it actually has led to new market structure, but barely. I would still count that, but not the strongest though. But if we do get back up there, I think there's a good chance it will hold, or at least temporarily, we'd see selling around that area. So that's what I'm seeing on the dailies. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. And finally, down here on the 4 hour, we actually have more of probably a symmetrical triangle, possibly descending, depending on how you want to draw that. You know, you might put a horizontal somewhere like that. I prefer to draw that as a symmetrical. Either way, a symmetrical triangle, a descending triangle, after a bearish move like that is typically a bearish pattern. So it doesn't guarantee that we're heading to the downside. In fact, I was trying to figure out what it is, but when I was looking at all this before, something about it makes me slightly bullish. Makes me think that there's a chance we're heading up here. For the life of me, I can't figure out what it is, which is interesting. But you know, that's a bit of a gut feeling, but I can't justify that gut feeling with any rational TA, essentially. You know, we are forming higher lows. We're also forming lower highs. That's how you get a symmetrical triangle. So I'm not really sure, to be honest, what it is that's making me slightly bullish on this. It could just be a lot of the time when price has a big move down without really retracing, I just feel like it's due, right? It's a classic gambler's fallacy. Hey, that's due to retrace. It should retrace. So maybe that's all it is. Not sure. So what am I thinking? What am I seeing on the 4 hour? For some reason, gut feeling says we're heading up here to about 20,000. There is a pretty strong supply zone there. You can see it was really beautifully retested on that wick, and there's probably a bunch of sort of little zones in here as well. You know, and you've got the 50 fib, you've got the 61.8 fib. So if we do move up there, I wouldn't, you know, this would be the key level. I wouldn't be super confident we're going to push anywhere further. Possible, but yeah, I think there'd potentially be a fair amount of resistance at that sort of 20,000 level from 19,990 to about 20,500. To the downside, it's really just at 17.2. There is 4 hour zones within here, but I haven't marked them off. It's just sort of, to me, you're just better off focusing on the bigger time frames when you're looking at moves like this. You know, where it might actually hold. The 4 hours are sort of less likely to hold. So that's really what I'm seeing. On the 4 hour, really what I'm seeing. For some reason, gut feeling is saying we're heading 20. But sort of, if I try and really rationalise it, I would think a breakout to the downside is more likely. Huge move down, symmetrical triangle. We have the fibs is an interesting one, right? Because this candle is what I've drawn the bottom of the fibs on. That candle also went to 38.2, but I don't know which happened first. I could go to a lower time frame to find out, but it doesn't really. Let's do that. Let's go and see what happened. Okay. I think it was just an insane Darth Maul. By the look at that, it's still looking the same on the 1 hour. So it's somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's just a... Okay, so we still can't even tell on the 15 minutes. If I start going lower, it's going to be harder and harder. Okay, let's just go right for 1 minute. So we'll see if we can find it. I'm also wary of the Wi-Fi here is not great. So that's why I was hesitant to go to the 1 minute, because I didn't think that the speed wouldn't necessarily be enough to load it. But hey, looks like we're going to get there. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so that is an insane Darth Maul. Right, in 1 minute it's done. And the reason that we call it a Darth Maul, so in 1 minute it has done 10%, right? That is a huge move, about $2,000. The reason that people call that a Darth Maul is because it looks like Darth Maul's lightsaber. So for you Star Wars fans out there, it's just a big red, both ways move. Haven't seen Star Wars, but pretty sure that's Darth Maul's lightsaber. It's two ends that are red. So that's an interesting one, right? That's an interesting candle to see. But as I was saying, it kind of mucks up the fibs a little bit, because I can't tell if that 38 retracement came after we moved down and set this low and then bounced back up within 1 minute to retest the 38, or if price went up to the 38 first to clear out some potential liquidity from here and retest this stop loss and then came down and set my fibs. So fibs are a little bit of a tricky one at the moment. Probably wouldn't even bother having them on. Because I just can't tell whether that 38 retracement has happened. I do still think that if price was... Sorry, I know I'm moving around a lot. It's a small screen. Going to be a little bit of an adjustment period, I think, with the market scans. So I do still think that... Oh, I'm trying the fibs wrong. I was holding control and I don't know if it was working. That confused me very greatly just then. So I do still think that the 50 fib is likely to hold, even though I'm kind of curious on the validity of the 38.2. Where the 50 fib is, there's a couple of supply zones, and it is the 50 fib of that overall move down. It's just whether this has been a retest that I'm not sure of, whether we have retested 38.2 or whether we set that 38.2, or we set that wick before we came down to put the zero in on the fibs. So, yeah, but to be honest, there's no trades for me this week, because I look at this and a lot of it just doesn't lend itself to my trading. Right, my gut feel is that. That's heavily counter trend at the moment. It's very much against my high time frame bias. I don't really want to be taking a short, even if we were to break down. Even if we were to break down from there, because currently my stop loss would be here and my take profit would be here. So my risk reward would be, pretty poor. I wouldn't want to be shooting for a target through this daily supply. And I'm not really a breakout trader, so I'm not really looking for trading the break and retest of either of those moves. So that is it for me for today's market scheme. So hopefully you guys are having a fantastic week. Hopefully you guys are smashing it in the markets. Have a great day, happy trading, and I will talk to you very soon.